He just accidentally broke through the wall and unexpectedly discovered a large amount of cash inside. Seeing this situation, his companions all came over to help. The 1-meter-thick wall was quickly broken open by them. The scene before their eyes made them very excited. This wall of less than 10 square meters contained a full 100 million in cash. But before they could finish loading the money, one of the companions discovered a new surprise. It turned out that this wasn't the only wall hiding money. Almost all the walls on the second floor were like this. The money in these walls added up to about 1 billion, enough to make them forget all their troubles. But the robbers didn't seem happy, because they only had 20 minutes to move the money. After 20 minutes, the drug lord who had gone out would return to the estate with his men. So with limited time, they ultimately only loaded one van full of cash, less than 1/3 of the total. As for the remaining money, since they couldn't take it, they poured gasoline on it and burned it all. What came next was the most troubling moment for them. They planned to use a helicopter to transport this money from South America back to the United States, but the cash weighed over 3 tons. Even for a helicopter, carrying them would be very difficult. Since they had just helplessly burned so much money, they had to take away every cent of the remaining 300 million no matter what. So they put 100 million in the cabin and 200 million in a cargo net under the aircraft to keep the helicopter balanced. But problems came immediately. After passing through the rainforest, they reached the extremely high Andes Mountains. Because the cash was too heavy, the helicopter couldn't gain altitude at all, so they could only sacrifice the small to save the big, throwing down the $100 million from the cabin. Only then could the helicopter barely rise to the height of the mountains. But just as they were about to cross the mountains, the helicopter malfunctioned due to overload operation. Then the helicopter lost power and descended rapidly. To survive, they could only throw down the remaining 200 million in cash as well, but it was already too late. The helicopter had completely lost control and couldn't fly normally. It was forced to land on a farm. Fortunately, the people inside were all safe. After escaping from the aircraft, they prepared to search for the cash they had just thrown down. But unexpectedly, the money had fallen into the hands of local residents. These people were not to be messed with. They were all drug dealers who helped drug lords grow poppies, and for money, they would do anything.